This is really an odd subject for me to be reviewing. I mean, if you're familiar with my channel, I'm kind of all about animal stuff, but I live in the Pacific Northwest and we have hellacious winters. Static is terrible. Dry skin is cracking. It's just not a lot of fun. So I got a humidifier and of course I opened a can of worms. The first one I got was a Vicks hot water one, so it was a steam humidifier. I'll go into what I thought of that, and I no longer have it, as you cannot see it on the table. I am going to review this AQUAOASIS. In fact, here's a funny thing about this, which made me think that this is video material, because this, I got two of them, and they are nothing alike. Like one of them runs out in half the time the other one does. So I found that very interesting. It's supposed to be says right on it, 12 to 24 hour working time. So I would assume, 12 if it's at medium to high, 24 if it's at low. You'll have to watch the video to find out the results of these two. And I'm going to unbox this one because one hint, not to be a spoiler alert, but obviously I'm not incredibly impressed with the performance of these guys. So I did step up and get a little bit nicer one. I'm gonna unbox it in the video. So I am going to be comparing these humidifiers. The results to this review blew my mind. I thought when I started the review, I knew what the end result was gonna be. I was just proving it to you. That is not the case. Luckily, when I review a product, it is an honest, open-minded review. And this review changed my mind. Oh, could put a little smell pretty in here. More power to you. You get a gold star today. But you know what? That's between you and the humidifier. But before we get started, I just want to say hello, Diana here. I am so excited to see your smiling face again. But if this is the first time I'm seeing it, please don't forget to subscribe. There's just a button around here somewhere, bonk it, and then there's a little bell icon. So you don't miss any of the going-ons around, so you don't miss any of the going-ons around the funny farm, even though today's video has nothing to do with the funny farm. But I think you'll enjoy it. First off, I did my research whether you want a cool water mist or you want the hot water steam mist. As far as moisture in the air, it doesn't really matter. I just want a mist of water in the house. And you know why? Not for all the reasons you'd think. Not for the breathing, not for the congestion, not necessarily even for the cracking dry skin. I like humidifiers running in the winter because I have long hair and I cannot stand static. I can't stand static on my clothes. Static drives me crazy. So I first got a hot water humidifier, which is steam. The issue I had with it, it was a Vicks one. They're kind of round and they're a hot unit. There's two reasons that did not work out for me. If the steam isn't coming out enough, you add some salt to the water, which increases the boiling point, so it would steam a lot more. I noticed about 3 or 4 times a day, I would look over at it and no steam is coming out, so I'd have to keep adding salt. The disadvantage to that is eventually the salt will cause a buildup. So I wasn't impressed with having to continually add salt to get the mist. Also, I babysit my 1.5-year-old grandson, and a tub of hot water above his head is absolutely, it makes my skin crawl at the thought that he would pull a cord or touch a button or do something and that hot water would fall over on him. So if you have kids around, I would not recommend the hot water one, and that's all I could find locally. So I went online, and of course, at Amazon, I spend hours doing my homework and I ask Google questions, and this has amazing reviews. This is the #1 selling cool mist humidifier. Actually, it's the #1 selling humidifier on Amazon. So I was all excited. So I've got 2 of them. One for my main floor and one for my upstairs in my bedroom. And it says 12 to 24 hour runtime. I'm even happy if it would just run 12 hours, but they didn't come at the same time. So one of them, about every few hours, I was having to fill that. Now I didn't have it on low, so I figured, well, I'll just chalk it up for that, because first couple days, I wanted to get a lot of humidity into the house because there'd been none all winter. Then when the second one came and I put it in my bedroom, I realized it's running a whole lot longer than the first one that arrived. So I have 2 of these, and I am going to fill them with water. I'll show you. So with these, you tip them over. See if you guys can see this. You tip it over, twist this off, fill it with water, super easy. And it's really, really quiet. And it's pretty easy to fill. There's a little notch right here for your fingers, so you're holding it and fill it. Super easy. It's great, but it doesn't run very long. So I actually stepped up, got myself a Mac Daddy. This is not the most expensive humidifier, so it's not like I'm going from inexpensive to real expensive. I think these are about 30 bucks. This is about 50 bucks. This one's runtime, if I remember correctly, it said that this could last up to 72 hours. So I'm excited about that. This one also has a nightlight, and purple is my favorite color. So you got me at purple. This will light up. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this, and then we will get to reviewing all 3 of these together. I can't tell you what the humidifier name brand is because all it says is humidifier, and then it's written in Chinese. It literally just says humidifier product manual. Now this is something fun about this model that you can't do with these. You're not supposed to put essential oils in these because it gunks up all the workings and stuff like that. So this one has a little sponge in here, and you can put essential oils on it and stick it in here. Make your house smell good. Voila. There are a couple of features to this one that I'm real excited about. Like I mentioned earlier, it has a purple nightlight. It has a bunch of different colors. I don't know what all of them are. So the light, when you first hit it, is a mood light, and it goes through all the colors. If you hit it when it's on the color you want, it stays on, and then if you hit it a third time, it turns off. So that's the nightlight control. You can set the humidity you want in the air, and then when it hits that certain humidity, it'll shut itself off. The biggest thing that I think with humidifiers is how long they run with mist out in the air, because ideally that's all we care about. All the rest is bells and whistles. This one just happens to have a few bells and whistles. Here is your levels. So it's 1, low, medium, and high. This is cool. This little sleep mode turns all indicator lights off. So power lights, indicator lights, anything. If you click it on sleep mode, it's pitch black. So now what I'm gonna do is set the clock for noon so that there's no math we have to do with how many hours these bad boys run. We're gonna set all 3 humidifiers on level 1, so their lowest level, and we're gonna see how long they run, because that is the whole reason people have humidifiers. Wow. At a level 1, those guys are popping a lot more moisture out. This one on a 3 looks like it's pushing out what those 2 are pushing out on a 1. So you know what? In all fairness, this bad boy's gonna have to be on a 3. So I'm gonna compare them all. This is on its highest, and those 2 are on their lowest, and let's see how long it lasts. Because this one at a 1 is just barely pushing much out. Okay, the clock has started. Here is something else I'm noticing. See how far these little ones shoot the mist out, and see how much they're shooting out? They're on low, so it's no wonder they go through so much more water. They're a small tank, and they are really pushing that moisture into the air. This bigger one, that's on high, and that's as much mist as it's sending out. But if you notice, that mist dissipates into the air. I'll put it up against the curtain so you can see it better. It dissipates into the air a whole lot sooner than these other ones. I've got to admit, I'm really impressed. I must have been using these on higher settings than low, because this is the next day since I started this. I shut everything off, including the timer, last night, because I didn't want them to run out and me not be awake to pay attention. So this one is about to run out and we are at 12 hours and 17 minutes. So I'm freaking impressed. Like I said in the beginning of this, I'd be perfectly happy if they last for 12 hours. If you look at the amount of output coming from these two on low, it's far exceeds what's coming out of this one on high. So I don't really see a reason you'd need these on anything but low. I'm more impressed with these after this 12-hour runtime, and this bad boy does not have much output, which is probably why it will last forever, because it's only gone down ½ an inch from its max. Okay, the first one ran out at 12 hours and 59 minutes, so 13 hours of runtime on the first one. That's fantastic. This has been a really interesting review for me, because I originally did not think these two smaller units were performing as well as they should. However, in keeping them on low, they do run obviously at a little different rate, which that's just neither here nor there. But even this one that ran out first still pumped good on low for 13 hours. This one has been on low for 15 hours and 40 minutes. And to be honest with you, here, let me shut this off. It still has, it wouldn't normally drip like this, but it still has probably an hour's worth of water in there. But the reason that I'm going to conclude this now is because I want to show you. So here is low, and I've showed you a number of times that it is at low, pumping out way more mist than this bigger, more expensive unit on high. And then check this out. So I wanted you to be able to see what this unit does on high. And also price-wise, this is $37.97, so a $38 unit. This is $54.98, so this is a $55 unit. So in conclusion, I am going to keep these two units because I want one upstairs in my bedroom and one downstairs in my living room. And at 13 to 15 hour runtime, that's easy for me. And for the price of two of these so that you can have one in each room, you're just paying a tiny bit more than this unit, which this has some cool features, a lot of fancy buttons, if fancy buttons is your gig. I did like the purple nightlight in this unit. I really liked the thought of this unit, and it has only used maybe a ½ an inch of its water. So you could really set it and forget it. This says 72 hours on it, and I believe it. I really do. I just want more. I want more mist. I gotta tell you, that's what it is. I want more damn mist. I want to see it going into my room. Now this, I can see going into my room. So at night, I like the one in my bedroom on high because I like it. So that is, they are both great units. They're all doing what they're supposed to do. I would rather have two units for the price of, almost the price of this one. That way I can have it in two different spots in my house. So I hope that was helpful to you. It was certainly enlightening to me because I thought I was going to return this and replace them with this, and not the case. This is going back and I'm keeping these. With that, stay safe, stay healthy, stay surrounded by loved ones, and most of all, stay grateful for all of your blessings. Thank you so much for watching.